They call you crazy because you noticed the truth. Because your heart felt something their words denied. Because your intuition whispered what your mind wasn't ready to hear. They laughed when you questioned the way they looked at their phone, rolled their eyes when you noticed the sudden coldness in their tone, and called you paranoid when you said, "Something feels off." But the truth was, you were right. You weren't crazy. You were awake. In the beginning, they wore a mask so beautiful you almost believed it was their face. They mirrored your soul, every like, every dream, every story, perfectly crafted to make you feel seen. They studied you, the way a painter studies a muse. They knew what words would melt your heart. They knew when to look into your eyes, and when to look away, just long enough to make you chase that gaze. And you did. Because it felt like love. It felt like destiny. It felt like home. But that wasn't home. It was a stage. And you were the light they used to hide their shadows. Then one day, the warmth began to fade. The laughter grew thinner. And the person you thought you knew began to disappear before your eyes. You noticed the small things first. The way they smiled less. The way they started talking to someone else, always just a friend. The way their affection became a reward instead of a gift. When you asked questions, they made you feel guilty for noticing. They said, "You're overreacting. You think too much. You're imagining things." But deep down, you knew. You always knew. Because love shouldn't make you feel like you're losing your mind. This is where they start to rewrite your reality. Every time you point out a lie, they twist it into your fault. Every time you catch them slipping, they make you question your own eyes. You say, "I saw the message." They say, "You're crazy." You say, "You ignored me all day." They say, "You're too needy." You cry. They smirk. You begin to wonder if you are, in fact, the problem. If maybe your emotions are too much. If maybe love really is supposed to hurt this much. But no. Love that demands you betray your own intuition isn't love. It's control dressed as care. Slowly, they start pulling you away from everyone else. They plant small seeds of doubt. Your friends don't really understand you. Your family just doesn't like me. And because you're loyal, you stay. You start cutting off the very people who would have reminded you of who you are. Now, it's just you and them, their voice in your head, their version of the truth echoing louder than your own. You begin to shrink. To apologize for existing. To walk on eggshells in a home that once felt like heaven. And when you finally start to speak up again, they call you crazy. Because your awakening threatens their control. One night, you look in the mirror, and you don't recognize yourself anymore. The light in your eyes is dimmer. Your laugh sounds foreign. You whisper, "What happened to me?" That's the moment it hits you. You've been fighting to prove something that should have never needed proof. You've been begging someone to see your pain, when they were the one causing it all along. They called you crazy for noticing the truth, because they knew if you ever believed yourself, you'd see right through them. So you stop explaining. You stop defending. You stop trying to convince anyone of what you saw, what you felt, what you know. You sit with your pain instead, quietly, bravely. You learn that silence can be a kind of freedom. And in that silence, the truth becomes clear: you were never crazy. You were courageous. Courageous enough to see behind the mask. Courageous enough to question the script. Courageous enough to choose peace over chaos, even when chaos wore the face of love. Healing doesn't come in a single moment. It comes in small ones. The first deep breath that doesn't hurt. The first laugh that feels real again. The first night you sleep without replaying every conversation in your mind. It's slow. It's messy. But it's yours. You start to remember the parts of you that got buried under their manipulation, your curiosity, your joy, your softness. You start realizing that being too emotional was actually your superpower. That loving deeply wasn't your weakness, it was your strength. You were never too much. They were too little. Now, when people call you crazy, you smile. Because you understand that a crazy is often just another word for aware. You see how many people fear those who notice too much, the ones who can't be fooled by charm, the ones who read the silence between words. You were punished for your perception, but now, it's what protects you. You've learned to trust your gut more than anyone's approval. To believe your feelings over someone else's version of a truth. And that, my dear, is power. The day comes when you no longer feel the need to prove anything. When you can look at your reflection and finally say, "I believe you." Because that's all you ever needed, for someone, even if it's just you, to say, "You weren't crazy. You were right. You were right to question. Right to feel. Right to walk away." Now, you speak softer but stand stronger. You love wiser but still deeply. You see through people faster, but you don't let that make you bitter. You're no longer afraid of being called crazy. Because you've learned, truth always sounds insane to those still living in lies. So to the ones who've been called dramatic, paranoid, emotional, or crazy, this is your reminder: you are not broken. You are aware. You noticed what others wanted to stay hidden. And that makes you powerful. Never dim your truth to make someone else comfortable in their lies. They call you crazy, but one day, they'll call you free. If this story spoke to your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because someone out there needs to hear this truth too.